Hi, it's Brad again with Heidi's Dog Grooming. Today I'm going to show you how to groom a dog's nails in a way that might be a little more practical for people who don't know how to do it. A few things important are to make sure you have your dog restrained because we're going to be using a battery-operated Dremel today. And if the dog's face gets near it, they can hurt themselves. So you got to be careful about that. This is Amber, by the way. Say hi, Amber. And the reason I suggest using a Dremel is because for one thing, it creates a little bit of heat when you're doing it, as long as you don't do it too fast, and it can actually cauterize anything if you get too close. And not only that, but you can go up and actually see when you're getting close to the quick, and I'll show that to you. And you can see what I mean. But so make sure you have the dog restrained. Of course, you can use your leash. Don't use a choke chain. I've got this. It's a grooming leash. If you don't have a grooming leash, which I imagine most people don't, use a collar. That way you're not choking the dog, because that can be bad for them too. It's real easy to choke a dog and not realize how much damage you're doing until it's too late, because the blood vessels in their eyelids will actually rupture, and they'll get bloody eyes. Their eyes will be all red, and it's not a good thing. So anyways, the important thing too is the reason why I chose a Dremel as opposed to those, what do they call them, those grooming things that they always advertise on TV, is because I've seen some of the videos on YouTube of those ones that they have, and they don't look too impressive to me, to be honest with you. And I recommend a battery-operated Dremel, because what can happen is if you have it on and you get the dog's hair or something caught in it, if you have a long-haired dog, it'll stop. All right, and that way you're not going to injure the dog or yank out his hair like you would with a battery-operated Dremel. Now, the important thing to remember is that when you're doing the dog's nails, you want to do it in the direction this Dremel spins this way. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make sure it's spinning like this. So I guess you'd say in the direction the nail grows. If you go against it, it's actually going to jam the nail back up into the dog's foot, and it's going to be uncomfortable. And that's why in a lot of the videos you see the dogs fighting, is because what they're doing is they're pushing the nail back up in, and it's not comfortable for the dog. Now, the trick to this, and I'll see if I can get the camera down here and show you a close-up in a minute, is when you do it, so you don't grind your hand, you don't grind the dog's paw, or anything like that. I mean, you see most of the videos, and they're going like this, and the dog's moving around, and they're moving around, and, it's like, it's a wonder anything gets done. What you want to do is you take your thumbs, all right, and you hold your thumbs together while you're doing it. Okay, that way, if the dog pulls and pushes, you're moving along with the dog's foot. All right, that way nobody's going to get hurt. Now with Amber, I'd normally have this restrained and the dog's face out of the way, but obviously, as you can see, she's a very cooperative dog. She's actually my dog, so she's pretty used to this. So let me show you how this works. Okay. Now you can see what I'm doing is I'm pushing. Now, I didn't use my thumbs, but I had my hand. If you have your hands pushing against each other at all times, then if the dog pulls, it's going to pull the whole thing with it. And well, I guess for me it's probably a little more easier, but I can actually Dremel the dog's nails while it's pulling and struggling with me. Now the thing is inside the nail is a quick, and I'll show you a closer one here in a minute, but I wanted to explain first. The quick grows inside the dog's nail, as I'm sure all of you know who've tried to groom a dog's nails before. And it has there's the nail, which is the hard part, and then there's the bloody part. But in between those two things is a fleshy part that won't bleed, but it's not nail as well. So what happens is when you're using the Dremel, you'll actually see the dust coming off, But then there'll come a point where you're starting to see it's not dust, but it's like little, pieces coming off that aren't dust. And that's when you know it's time to stop. And if you do go too far, there's a few ways you can stop the bleeding. The best way to do it is to use Quick Stop, which you can buy at the store. And you get a pinch of it, put it on your finger, and push it up against it. You might have to do it a few times, and if you get it bad enough, really jam it up in there. The other way to do it is in a pinch. There's a couple ways. You can use cornstarch, which is one way to do it. And another way, if you're really desperate, is you can actually take a match, best a wooden match, and what you do is you light it and then immediately blow it out, and then push it up against the dog's nail, and it'll actually cauterize. It won't hurt the dog. It's actually less painful than the nail cutting is, believe it or not. And most dogs don't complain about it when you do it that way. Not that I make a practice of doing that. I have Quick Stop and actually have a cauterizer that I use as well. But so that's how you can stop the nails from cutting. Now I'm going to try to see if I can get a more close-up picture for you of this. Naturally, if a dog is going to struggle too much, I would recommend, if you're doing it yourself, you don't got to get it all done in a night. I don't think you got a nail emergency going on. So, try to get one done, and maybe the next night go back and do a second one, and then, do them like one, or spread it out, so it's not traumatic for you and it's not traumatic for the dog. Because if it's too bad an experience, the dog's just going to get worse each time you try to do it. All right, I'm going to see if I can get a close-up here of the nails for you. Okay, so now I'm going to try doing it here and see if you can see what I'm talking about with the nail. And what you want to watch for, you can see the white part here. This right here is all white up to about right there. And this is the fleshy area right here. And then back here you're starting to get into the blood. Her nails are partially clear, so you can kind of see it here. I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not, but this is the white. Right there's the fleshy, and then right up here is where you get into the blood area. Alright, so I'm going to try it now. This is going to be right next to the phone, so it's probably going to be pretty loud. So I don't know if you want to turn your computer down or not. Now that I got dust all over my camera lens, it didn't with her nails. Sometimes you get dogs where it doesn't do it as well. In hers, that was the case. You get these little pieces of the nail hanging off, and normally you would file that down too if you want to, if your dog will let you. But it'll wear off in about a day or so. So it's not really a big deal. But yeah, usually you can see the fleshy part probably a lot better if you're not looking at it on a low-resolution camera on the internet. But if you do start to get close to, the dog will let you know, I promise. So that's about it for doing the nails. The important thing, like I said, to remember is have the dog restrained when you do it, and just make sure you use a battery-operated one. If you're going to use a plug-in one, at least, run it at a real low speed, because the dogs will move, and especially the hair around the face. It'll actually can pull the Dremel out of your hand and put it right in the dog's face and do some serious damage. So, use a little common sense whenever you're trying to do these kind of things yourself, because the simplest thing can end up injuring you or injuring the dog. You'd be surprised how easy it is to do. So that's it for today. Good luck. Email me if you have any questions. The email address, or send me a personal message here on YouTube. And if you want to check out my business website, that's Heidi'sMobilePetGrooming.com. And thank you very much.